In a quiet U.S. suburb, CIA operatives Alice and Greg pose as a lost couple approaching a seemingly normal house, actually an FSB safe house. Hidden nearby, their Overwatch team leader, James Silva, waits with agents Sam Snow and William Douglas. Backup is watching too. CIA officer Bishop and his surveillance team confirm 5 hostiles inside, and a deadly mission. They must find and destroy cesium shipments before the Russians weaponize them. Alice rings the doorbell. A woman answers. Flashbang! Greg hurls a stun grenade inside, and Overwatch storms in.
Now!
Alice and Greg secure the Russians while Sam and William sweep the house. William cracks the safe, grabbing intel, while Sam helps restrain the agents. Then, Bishop spots a 6th heat signature, someone hiding. Silva sends Sam and Alice to investigate, but as they move down the hallway, boom! A shotgun blast hits Alice. The Russians seize the moment, attacking. One panicked agent triggers an explosion, sending himself crashing through a window. Injured and helpless, he begs Silva as Bishop orders his execution. Silva shoots him cold. With the intel secured, Overwatch escapes just before the house explodes. Cover-up complete. The news spins the FSB raid as a Russian false flag operation with special focus on 18-year-old Anatol, the young man Silva executed in the yard. We then learn Silva's backstory, a brilliant but violent child who lost his mother and twin brothers in an accident. The CIA molded him into a decorated black ops agent, skilled but emotionally detached. 16 months later, our story shifts to Indonesia, where we're introduced to a mysterious man named Noor. He methodically burns photos and documents, erasing every trace of his former identity. Meanwhile, Silva meets agents William and Sam at a restaurant, furious about their failed cesium operation. The tip came from Alice's contact, and Silva's losing patience with their lack of progress. His anger boils over until he barges into the women's restroom to confront Alice. "Your source just wasted our time," he snarls. Alice insists her contact, a local special forces operative, is reliable, but Silva trusts no one outside his team. "Fix this," he demands before storming out. At the U.S. Embassy, Silva continues interrogating Alice about her failed intel when her ex-husband calls. Silva dismisses her. "Handle your personal drama and get back to work." The phone call turns ugly fast. Alice's ex berates her for missing their daughter's appointments, cruelly adding that her stepmother is doing a better job parenting. Meanwhile, aboard an FSB spy plane, a shadowy Russian official reviews Noor's file with Army Lieutenant Alexander Aslanov. America will learn we're not weak, Aslanov vows as they prepare their operation. Back at the embassy, Silva covers for Alice's source when briefing the station chief, though the chief warns their recent failures are unacceptable. Over a tense lunch, Alice vents about her crumbling family life, but Silva shows no sympathy. This is the life she chose. The scene erupts into chaos as Noor crashes through embassy gates in a stolen car, surrendering while clutching an encrypted drive. Observant viewers might notice him counting silently on his fingers. Alice identifies him as her contact. The drive contains cesium locations, but Noor demands asylum before revealing the decryption code. An analyst makes a chilling discovery. The drive will self-destruct in 8 hours. When Alice threatens Noor over his previous faulty intel, he reveals they missed cesium hidden in artwork. The tip was good after all. Silva immediately petitions to reactivate Overwatch for a final mission, transport Noor, and secure the cesium. The chief promises to consider it as time keeps ticking down. The tension spikes when Indonesia's chief of security Axel arrives with the foreign minister, demanding to speak with Ambassador Brady. Silva erupts at his tech team.
You know what happens when you ionize a protein? And then you know what happens next? Your kidneys fail, your lungs collapse, you cannot breathe, you cannot think, your thyroid just evaporates, all right? Then your lymphocyte cell count takes a nosedive. That's what this shit does. Cesium-139 is Hiroshima and Nagasaki combined, only you don't need sophisticated planes to place it. You only need a kid who can empty an envelope on a sidewalk.
Lenore undergoes a polygraph test and passes flawlessly. The questions probe his motives and the drive's contents, but his calm responses check out. Security transfers him to the medical ward, handcuffed to a bed for examination. But something's off. These doctors move too deliberately. Lenore's instincts scream danger seconds before the men attack, snarling, "Traitor!" What follows is a shocking display of combat prowess. Lenore fights like a cornered tiger. He absorbs brutal blows, but retaliates with terrifying precision. When embassy security bursts in, they find a blood-spattered Lenore kneeling calmly between two corpses. His message is clear: underestimate me at your peril. Ambassador Brady meets with Axel and the foreign minister as they demand Lenore's extradition, claiming he's just a corrupt cop. Silva joins and immediately doubts their story. If Noor was unimportant, they wouldn't be here personally. When Brady gets alerted about the assassination attempt, Axel denies sending operatives. Brady's response is chilling. Any intruders are now dead. Silva reviews the security footage of Lenore's lethal counterattack, confirming his exceptional skills. Meanwhile, Overwatch sets up at their covert base, while Alexander waits aboard the FSB plane, ready to exploit any network vulnerability when the mission begins. Bishop briefs the team: transport Lenore 22 miles to the airfield, get him safe, retrieve the cesium. Agents sign waivers, becoming untraceable ghosts. In their final meeting, Silva notes Lenore's subtle finger counting, a pulse check and tense exchange provide just enough reassurance. The dangerous extraction is about to begin. The team loads Lenore into their transport vehicle, activating their isolated comm network. Exactly the opening Alexander needed. Silva's car moves out with a backup vehicle trailing close behind. During the tense ride, Lenore reveals his motives. His government murdered his entire family, and this mission is his revenge and escape. Overwatch's base team navigates them through the city, hacking traffic systems to clear their path with perfect green lights. Unbeknownst to them, Alexander monitors every word through their compromised network. The situation escalates when motorcycles begin tailing the convoy. Suddenly, all communications cut out. In that critical blackout, a biker plants an explosive on the trailing car. When feeds restore, the team assumes they're safe as the bikes retreat. But analysts reviewing satellite footage spot the bomb too late. The explosion obliterates the backup car, killing 3 agents and leaving Sam critically wounded. The bikers return, opening fire and disabling Silva's vehicle with another explosion. Trapped in the open, the team returns fire, while Alice tends to Sam's severe injuries. Bishop's team identifies an escape vehicle nearby. Silva coordinates their defense. William lays down covering fire, while Silva flanks and eliminates the shooters. When attackers charge Lenore, the presumed prisoner shocks everyone by killing both men barehanded. As William secures their getaway car, Silva makes the hard call. Gravely wounded, Sam won't survive. He leaves her with 2 grenades. Their parting is brief but meaningful. You did good. The team escapes with Lenore just as Sam's grenades detonate, taking her surrounded enemies with her in a final act of sacrifice. Silva's patience snaps. He demands the code from Lenore, but the man won't budge. Not until they're on that plane. Bishop scrambles to secure a nearby safe house, a restaurant front, while Overwatch scans for threats. Their contact hands over ammo and a fresh car is inbound. Bishop digs through Lee Noor's files, hitting a redacted wall. Wherever he studied abroad, someone erased it. Police radios crackle with orders to clear the area. Silva spots Axel outside, bikers lurking nearby, and ignores Bishop's order to stand down. He strides out to confront him. Silva warns Axel to back off. Axel claims he's just doing his job. The standoff breaks when Bishop barks the evacuation order. Alice yanks Lee Noor toward the exit, but two women slip past them. Silva clocks the danger too late. The bomb detonates. Shrapnel flies. Silva staggers up just as another grenade explodes, shredding William's legs. Alice lunges to drag him clear, but the female assassins strike. Silva's overpowered until Lee Noor intervenes, snapping one attacker's neck. They barely escape the gunfire, hauling William into the car. No time for a new vehicle. William's bleeding out, and bikers swarm. The car's disabled. William knows the score. He tells them to go. Silva grips his shoulder, a silent goodbye, then bolts with Alice and Lee Noor. Silva, Alice, and Lee Noor fight their way through the building, Bishop's voice guiding them through their earpieces. Axel's men are closing in fast, gunfire echoing through the corridors. Silva spots an exit, only for Axel himself to cut them off, forcing a frantic retreat that separates Alice from the group. Alice ducks into an apartment, firing back at her pursuers while desperately searching for another way out. Across the building, Silva and Lee Noor are being pushed back, outgunned, and nearly surrounded. Alice realizes she's trapped until an idea strikes. She rigs grenades at the door and opposite wall, then takes cover. When attackers burst in, the twin explosions tear through the room and blasting open a hole to the next apartment. Meanwhile, Silva refuses Bishop's order to evacuate without Alice. He and Lee Noor turn back into the firefight. Lee Noor demonstrates why he's so valuable. Though outnumbered, he dispatches attackers with brutal efficiency. Silva pushes forward, dropping enemies as he goes, the two men fighting their way toward Alice through the chaos. Silva comes face to face with Axel in the chaos. Bullets fly as they exchange fire and sharp words, neither backing down. The confrontation ends abruptly when Silva hurls a grenade, but Axel vanishes into the smoke, leaving Silva to regroup with Lee Noor. Meanwhile, Alice plays her last card against an attacker. She drops her weapon, sobbing that she's just a mother, then strikes like a viper when he lowers his guard. But the brute keeps coming, slamming her against walls with bone-crushing force. Just as his hands close around her throat, Silva and Lee Noor arrive in the nick of time. Bishop guides the battered trio to a waiting truck. They speed toward the airstrip, the drive's self-destruct timer ticking into its final minutes. But Alexander has finally locked onto Overwatch's position. Axel makes one last play, blocking the road with his vehicle. Bishop's solution comes screaming from the sky.
We don't have time for this.
My pleasure.
Target acquired.
Take it.
A drone strike reduces Axel to ashes. The team reaches the runway with seconds to spare. Silva jabs a finger at Lee Noor, the code now. He relents and technicians retrieve the cesium locations. As the clock hits 0, with clearance given, Lee Noor boards with Alice. She's finally going home to her daughter, but as the plane's door closes, an agent's monitor flashes urgently. Lee Noor's spiking blood pressure tells a dangerous truth they're only beginning to understand. The team's screens suddenly glitch as a coded image materializes. Alexander informs his superior the moment has arrived. Their revenge is about to unfold. Overwatch analysts decipher the access code. It's the Russian word for Christmas, the exact address of that first FSB safe house they raided. Bishop's blood runs cold. They've been played. Lee Noor wasn't just a defector. He was a Russian triple agent all along. As Anatol's face appears on screen, that young man Silva killed years ago, Russian operatives storm Overwatch's headquarters, gunning down everyone in the room. On the plane, Alice realizes the horrifying truth too late. Noor has already disarmed a guard and is taking control of the aircraft. The final puzzle piece clicks. Anatole was the son of a powerful Russian official, and this entire operation was an elaborate revenge plot to lure and eliminate Overwatch. In the aftermath, Silva sits through a brutal debriefing, forced to admit they were outmaneuvered at every turn. The film closes on Silva alone, staring at Noor's photo with grim determination. This isn't over. And neither is this story, because that ending has me counting down the days until part 2. What about you? Drop your theories in the comments and don't forget to subscribe for more explosive breakdowns. Until next time.